A House of Dynamite. That's right, folks. Kathryn Bigelow is finally back, making a big-time movie on Netflix. It's been 8 years, 7 years, around that time frame since her last movie. I like Kathryn Bigelow. I do. I think she's made some very interesting films. Some of them have been good. Some of them haven't. A very mixed filmmaker, but I'm always excited to see what she's going to do next. Because she's very weird in like a modern context of the types of films we're making. She inspired a lot of like a genre that came after her and just kind of faded into obscurity. So, A House of Dynamite, this has been a long talked about film that she's been working on. It's finally here. It finally got made. We have to talk about it. It is coming out on Netflix October 24th. This video will be out a week before that. There was a screening in my area. I think it was actually just like one of like the, limited release so it can have awards contention, which it might have. This might actually be a movie with awards contention behind it, which is weird to say because this film is not very good. I am utterly fascinated by the attempts that are made in A House of Dynamite. It is just such a bizarre way to make a movie. And it really puts into question if Kathryn Bigelow still has talent, which is such a bizarre thing to say. Because she is very capable. She is an Oscar-winning director. She is very capable of making a good movie. And maybe a problem with this film comes from the desire to make it. We are in such, and I'm sorry, this is a movie about American politics and American government in crisis situations. So we have to talk about it. It is such a divisive and bleak time to be discussing how a world would react to a nuclear response. It's not great. It's not really something you want to think about when these things are very likely to happen and could potentially happen at any time because everyone's bad and the world sucks. But this is a film that is about the American government. A lot of sides of it is like the White House Situation Room meets Stratcom, meets the president, just meets the Secretary of Defense. All these different angles of people all over the government and military reacting in real time to a potential nuclear launch that has occurred and could be heading towards an American metropolitan. So it is kind of like there's tension to be had there. There truly is tension to be had there. How do we in real time witness this military base in Alaska realize something's off on like some monitor here to maybe now we're starting to see something in like the government side. Oh, we're monitoring this thing. It's not seeming to stop. We have to plan an attack this way, to what happens if there's an actual attack. Very fun idea to see on screen. That can be very cinematic. For the life of me, I don't know why the movie was filmed the way it was. I get the nature to want to shoot this like it's a documentary. No score, just straight up, we're moving the camera in and out of sequences. I'm not the first person to make this comparison, but this is shot like an episode of Veep. And Veep is all about like the quick cameras, moving everything in and out of focus. Like we're not resting or sitting still. If we had just introduced some talking head beats with some of the characters in this, it's an episode of The Office. Like, it's framed like that. We're just zooming in on people's screens for a joke sometimes. And I just don't understand why you would make that the intention here. Is it supposed to be kind of self-parody where this is like funny to watch these bumbling buffoons fail? I don't know. Because it is just the most, and yes, it's a nuclear strike coming to America, but it's just filmed like the most dire thing to ever happen. But the dialogue doesn't suggest that. The audio effects don't affect that. And the performances don't affect that. Like, it's just so weird. Like, we're talking about the lives of millions of people dying, yet we're doing some weird jokes about people not being able to hear you as they're trying to run to the building. Yes, there is some realistic energy to that, but it doesn't feel for a moment that any of the characters are taking this as seriously as they should, which makes it feel really weird, which doesn't help anything. And when it's just like, it's an egregious amount of just feeling the camera like zooming in, where you can just feel like someone like, we're moving in closer, boot, we're pushing like the wide or the zoom in, zoom out button on our camera. If you feel that and it just it detracts from everything, it's very weird. It's also just a movie shot in a bunch of rooms. Like, it's just primarily like 4 rooms that people are in, and then sometimes there's some exterior shots that are on streets somewhere. So it's not like a big movie. Like, there's some helicopters and there's some plane stuff, but aside from that, we're not spending a lot of time seeing how the world could be feeling about this thing happening. It's just more about these people who have to deal with this crisis. And I think it handles that very poorly. The film doesn't grasp the severity of the thing it's trying to say, and there's a million reasons for that. I don't know when this script was first written in this interpretation, but this certainly doesn't feel like a real government, and maybe that's like saying something about the current state of American governance. I don't know. But none of these characters feel like real people, which they sometimes try by saying, I got a wife, I got kids, I'm going to propose tomorrow, like that kind of hoopla. And none of it matters. I'm just like, damn, you're really missing all the points here. So your camera work is bad. The directing is very poor. The scripts are awful. And nobody is really good at anything. There are some key performances we should talk about. This is billed as a Rebecca Ferguson-led movie. She, is in the front section. So we have 19 minutes to respond. So how do we make those 19 minutes last for 2 hours? Is we see the reaction time from different perspectives. So from the first perspective, we see Rebecca Ferguson, who is the lead person in the White House Situation Room. She's the one who we primarily see put things in order. She is the best actor in this movie. Maybe because she gets it. She has one sequence in the film that I found to be genuinely moving. She has one of her subordinates get her cell phone, and she calls her husband and says, you have to get as far west as possible. I love you. I will explain later. Please kiss our son for me. Hangs up the phone, gets back into everything. That is the most effective scene in this movie, in my opinion. She is easily the best. Every time she's not on screen, we're losing something. Maybe because it's a female perspective and it's just a bunch of old aggressive men saying shit for the rest of the movie, but she's so effective and she's really good. We also have Tracy Letts playing the lead general at Stratcom, who I like Tracy. I think he's really fun, really interesting guy. He is just playing I'm ready for war, bitches. Everything sucks, let's blow it up. Which is so weird. It's a very weird choice, but I guess that might be a real military general or something. I don't know. And then we have Greta Lee show up for a bit here. She does a thing. Anthony Ramos works at the military base in Alaska that monitors this at the beginning. I don't know. I feel like there's some overacting for some reason, and it doesn't feel like very realistic acting, if that also makes sense. It's such this catastrophe. You also have Idris Elba playing the President of the United States. Idris Elba, the most American man that ever lived. There's nothing more American than Idris Elba. You see him, you're like, that's an American man. He has to make the hard decisions, which is, do I counterattack this thing? How do I respond? It's essentially game over, man. You have to figure out, do we strike now or later? What is our counterattack? Very, very weird stuff. I mean, I guess it's kind of refreshing to see a politician question what they can do in this circumstance, as opposed to some current world leaders who would just be, fuck it, go nuclear, burn the whole system down. So I guess in that sense, this is a fictional story. And Jared Harris, another classic American man, is the Secretary of Defense. Amazing story where he's just I can't even react to this. It's like the least interesting interpretations of every single character you prop up that are put on screen now, and then you just have like some Veep jokes about just like subordinates that can't do certain stuff, or people dropping stuff, or just freaking out in certain ways. It's not handled well. It's not handled well. And I find that to be utterly fascinating for a movie like this. Unintentionally one of the funniest movies I have seen in a long time, because the balls to do the things you do, and I'm not just talking about the ending, and I'm not just talking about the dialogue. I think just to film it this way, have the characters behave this way, and release this at Venice is insane, because nothing about this movie should work, and it is just barely scraping by. We're not going to talk about the ending. There's going to be so many thoughts on it. I will say this. It is ballsy to do that, and I am blown away by the... that's got to be a Kathryn Bigelow thing. It might be... Well, I don't want to say that because that might be kind of spoilery. It might be the funniest ending to a movie I've seen in a very long time. Just unintentionally this... Yeah, it was all coming to this, baby. How do we handle this situation now? It's all coming to this moment. Be prepared for this moment. And I'm like, yeah, we are prepared. This whole movie is about being prepared for this thing. But nobody feels like it matters. I will say it's well-paced, and I was never bored. Even though I think it's hilarious at times, I've never looked away in like, ugh, how much time is left? It's really bizarre, the choices that are made. But I respect the effort that went into making this thing. Like, you are not going to watch another movie this year that feels or behaves the way this one does. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing. At the end of the day, I think it's fun. And I've seen a lot of good movies this year. I really have. This is one I'm going to be thinking about for a while, for better or worse. And that's something. So, A House of Dynamite. I am going to give a 6 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.